So here we go.
Here we go.
This is the new champion. We can name her at this point.
I believe we can. So this is Neferu, Neferu. Neferu is an Anubian, and she becomes, in the story that will be revealed later today, the champion of death.
Neferu is an amazing piece of storytelling as well.
Yeah.
Also done by the amazing Kelly Diggs.
Yeah.
So we'll talk a little bit more about the Khopesh sword that she has later on, which is kind of behind us there, which is a bit awkward.
Oh, her Khopesh is a beating.
It's a serious piece of weaponry. All right, Nefer's advocate. Tell us
Yeah,
about that.
so death has obviously a lot of play and interplay with afterlife effects, and we have many cards in the set that will make a 3/2 experimental outcome. So this is one of them. It's ye old turn 1 or turn 2 play, just get a blocker out and then get value after the fact. There are cards that pay you back for doing a thing. The experimental outcome suite of cards, there's an array of them throughout the set. Some of them you'll get experimental outcomes if you have a certain amount of health or less. When you play a card at the end of your turn, you'll see all sorts of these experimental outcomes step in the way and step forward. And having a lot of disposable bodies becomes important later, and we'll get there.
Yes.
So Neferu is a leader of an Anubian army. So unlike the regular armies of Olympia, the Southern Europe area of our reflected game world, where they have captains and commanders and all sort of it, the Anubian armies don't roll that way. She leads, and in the story you'll see later today, she's leading an army to retake the city of Muknod from the Olympian forces that have occupied it. And almost nothing can stop this woman, not even death.
Right.
When this creature is summoned, deal 3 damage to each other character.
That's everything.
That's everything. That's
including the gods.
So not her, but
Not her.
both gods and every champion, yours and theirs. She drops the hammer and everybody feels it.
Oh.
But that's not all. Keeping with the story, she just doesn't stay dead. Afterlife, if your god has 15 health or less, pull this creature into your hand and permanently reduce its cost by 1, which means you can play it again at 5 mana and deal another 3 damage to everything. And then when she dies, you can play her again for 4 mana and deal 3 damage to everything. One of the themes you'll see throughout the set is that we're intending to both deepen our gameplay and broaden our gameplay. For instance, you saw a little bit of the favor mechanic, where we're going to reward a different axis upon which you can play. And similarly, here. So Death has a pretty aggressive plan right now. Death also has a control late game plan, and this is giving you options for in the middle. Also for late game as well.
Yeah.
But Neferu brings, if you're spending your mana correctly, you're playing Neferu on turn 6, and that's gonna get people's attention.
Yeah.
When this creature is summoned, is different than Roar. So Roar only triggers when you play it from your hand. When this creature is summoned, triggers when it hits the board, however it hits the board. Death does have that reanimate ability.
Yeah, right.
Here's
Of
her
course,
Khopesh.
every hero, every champion has a weapon,
Yeah.
and Neferu's Khopesh is
Yeah, this is her signature relic. So it's a legendary card. Let's just read it. After you play a death card, add 1 durability to this relic. Ability, destroy a creature. Now, if you destroy a friendly creature, add a durability to this relic. Otherwise, remove 2 durability.
and it
There
only
is-
hits the board with 2 durability.
That's correct. Now you're spending, so there's a lot going on with this card. First of all, let me say that that art is work in progress. It's obviously going to get zoomed out, so we'll fit the full art into the little octagon you have there.
Yep.
But let's talk about the bad news, and then let's focus on the good news. So the bad news is you're spending 6 mana to play a card that does nothing the turn you play it.
That's right.
Because you can't use the ability of a relic the turn you play it, and there's nothing presently in the game that changes that. Okay? So, on the one hand, spend 6 do nothing, it's not great. On the other hand, every turn, Zot.
You get to bang
Yeah,
someone.
you get to take this Kopesh and reap. And so you can destroy your own creatures. For instance, if there's a powerful afterlife ability you want to get back, you can. In one testing game, it was important for me to attack with Neferu. She survived. I used her own Kopesh against her, put her back into my hand, played her again, so she dealt a whole bunch of extra damage.
Right.
That felt good. There's an entire cycle where the champion's relics have an ability that incentivizes playing cards in the domain. This is a slight nerf to neutral cards because neutral cards don't benefit you in this way. But that's not really the point. That's just a side effect. Being able to kill a creature, their best creature, every single turn for free,
Yeah.
in effect, is
Interesting.
that's spicy. It's good times. There are multiple ways to build a death deck. Having a pile full of afterlife effects is a very standard way to do it, and
Yep.
this will help trigger them. Attacking with all of your creatures, and then playing Neferu to clean up the leftovers, and then triggering your afterlives is a fun, fine, and wonderful thing to do.
Yeah.
So, in our story, we have several different trials. For those of you that have been reading the lore, you'll know that it's called Trial of the Gods, and the trials are being set into these mortal champions, and each domain, each god, sets a trial for the champion belonging to a different god. The trial card we're about to show is not part of the story you're going to read today. This is for after that, when the Trial of the Gods commences, and the trial is set by Therial.
There it is. The
This
trial
is-
of the first pillar.
Trial of the First Pillar. So, there are several pillars that make up part of the structure of the Grand Arena. According to Neferu's story, she's literally fought through everything to get out of the afterlife. Instead of leading an army, this trial she has to do alone. And the first part is literally climbing this ungodly height pillar to go and fight a dragon up there. So in game terms, oh, this card is nuts. It is. In game terms, for light-based decks, this card reduces everything. All creatures have their strength and health set to 1. And then it summons a 1/7 pillar with frontline and can't attack. Obviously, your pillars can't attack.
And again, let's talk about the all creatures. So that's both your guys and their guys.
That's correct. Here we go. It's Neferu's Will. Target a friendly creature. So you're protecting that one, not protecting. All of your other friendly creatures give themselves up for you.
Okay.
So they're all destroyed. And then you give the targeted creature overkill and +3/+3 for each creature that was destroyed.
Wow. So 7 mana. It's pretty big.
It is.
It's a late game winning strategy, but I can definitely see that helping.
Yeah, this card is designed to end the game.
One thing that I love about this card is how nicely it ties into her lore and her story, which is all about sacrifice and, helping each other. To the extent that I'm going to die in order to help the other person along. So
the champion we're about to tease is not from the domain of light or death, so that narrows it down a little bit.
So here is the silhouette for Champion 3.
I love them so much.
Thank you so much for joining us here on this live stream. This is a wonderful way to connect with you all, and we're very looking forward to doing more of this in the future.
Absolutely.
And have a great day.
Take care.